So the Aliyah Boston injury, it seems a lot worse than we thought. So the Indiana Fever may have done a Caitlin Clark, as in they may have said questionable and day to day, and it turns out the injury is 100 times worse. So if you guys don't know, Aliyah Boston was injured and unrivaled with what the Fever described as a lower leg injury. We heard nothing else. And that was 3 months ago nearly. She didn't play a start of preseason. She didn't play at the start of May. Really. And so 2.5 months out. Turns out, I didn't even realize from Scott Agnes. So Scott Agnes basically, he tweeted, or he had reported, he was the only person that reported Caitlin Clark's ankle injury accurately. I didn't even know it with Scott Agnes here. So if you didn't see this here. So, Aliyah Boston, this is questionable. Does anyone have any idea what the injury is? No practice, no details. I support it. It was a meniscus injury last time. So from Scott Agnes in the Fieldhouse Files, he basically said here, where is it? So this was March 11th. Did say anything about Aliyah's meniscus here? There's no control F on Aliyah. So it is not reported on this page. Oh, continue reading. It's post for free. Shout out, Scott Agnes. Okay. But you can continue to read it, and he did report it. That's hence why obviously it was not widely known, because you have to sign up for his newsletter and his Substack app. So that's probably why it wasn't widely known. But it was a meniscus injury. Why I say lower leg instead of part of the lower leg? Why? Because they want to be intentionally vague. And the fact is, this is also quote unquote lower leg. If this is a meniscus injury, they're either one, if this is the same injury, because it's been reported the same. Both times it's been reported as a lower leg injury. That's all. Both times it has been reported as a lower leg injury. Nothing else, lower leg. And we can assume, we can jump to the conclusion, and I think it's absolutely, on the part of the fans, it is fair to jump to the conclusion that these two injuries are the same. Why? Because the Indiana Fever have reported both of them as the same. They were made sure it was like with Caitlin was, right groin, left groin, right quad. No, this is lower leg. And I don't know why they tried to ignore a meniscus injury. I actually do not know why they're trying to brush off a meniscus injury like it's nothing. But they obviously are. That being said, again, if this is the same thing as a meniscus injury, and it was a meniscus injury that kept her out for over 2 months, 2.5 months, well, over 2 months, which means that, and she can get surgery, so probably like a slight meniscus tear, maybe a meniscus sprain. Like, they're still semi-serious. Like, it is, they're still never good injuries to have. Like, it's a meniscus tear. Like, you don't want that to happen no matter what. That being said, it is one of these things where I don't know if they're either doing a bad job of communicating with fans. And by the way, the Indiana Fever had their lowest attendance in years at home. They had their lowest attendance at home. Second lowest attendance in 2024. Lowest with Caitlin Clark on the court. Their fans don't have trust in this team. And after last year, all this questionable and fans still going to potentially see Caitlin Clark, fans aren't buying this anymore. Fans aren't buying this. Absolutely. Fans are not buying this. It is kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy here. And I think there's a possibility that they are saying questionable because they don't want fans to lose their mind if Aliyah Boston's out for a decent chunk of time with a meniscus injury. And if Aliyah Boston re-injured the same meniscus, if the reporting is accurate and she has re-injured the exact same meniscus as she hurt a few months ago, I'm sorry, I'm going to be very honest here. Like, she might not play for the rest of the season. And that's not a crazy statement to make. That Aliyah might not play. She might be done. Like, two meniscus injuries in 3 months. Like, that might be surgery and, sit her out for the season's time. Because the Indiana Fever don't have the roster to compete without her. They had an injured player. And they decided not to sign a backup for her and run it back with the worst player in the WNBA in Demir Standis, a KK Timpson who could not see the floor. It's bad. It's all around bad. But now we're in a situation where, look, there's a very, very good chance Aliyah Boston's out for not only tomorrow, for a long time. Unless, again, this is a completely different lower leg injury and the Indiana Fever are just being intentionally misleading with, continuing to be misleading with their reporting. But if I'm being real here, by the looks of things, with their reporting, it's the same injury as last time. They underplayed massively what the last injury was. And this is after the Indiana Fever lying about a Caitlin Clark injury last year. And by the way, Caitlin Clark was quote-unquote day-to-day. They were talking about her maybe playing the All-Star game. She was day-to-day and then was about to come back to play. And she wrecked her ankle. And the Indiana Fever publicly said she had a mild ankle or mild bone bruise and that it didn't affect her groin, which Caitlin Clark as well said. She recovered from the groin, it was her ankle. This is a team that has been lying about injury reports. And the fact that they basically massively underplayed a meniscus injury, them ignoring Aliyah's unrivaled injury and having her play 20 minutes to be back in the starting lineup, playing a simple malpractice in anticipate Aliyah would get injured so they didn't sign serviceable backup. Aliyah was injured during free agency. It was a choice. Aliyah may have that's me. She may have re-injured her meniscus. It sounds like it's the CC injury reporting all over again, yeah. It is what it sounds like. And if that's the case, if she did re-injure her meniscus, there is a good chance she's done for the year. Like, I'm sorry, you shut somebody down because we've seen with, like, you don't fuck about by, if you injure your meniscus and then injure it again, you don't fuck about. You don't fuck about. You make sure it's right. We regather the troops for 2027. But, yeah, it's not looking good.